The snowbank here is just towering over the van. It's unbelievable. It must be almost 15 feet deep. I definitely think we have more than enough snow. I need to use a shovel just to get into the woods. Welcome to Crater Lake, where as of March 7th, 2025, Crater Lake has recorded the deepest snow totals of anywhere on Earth. So I'm gonna explore around this area, find a great place to camp, and build a snow shelter and hope that I can survive the night in one of the most amazing and beautiful places in the world. Hope you enjoy. I'm looking for somewhere with not only big snow depth, but also shade. This seems pretty nice. The only flaw in that plan is that all the snow and ice is melting off of these trees, which might be a little uncomfortable if it lands on my head. And look at all of this beautiful, beautiful untouched snow. I think that is more than deep enough. Holy moly. Look at that. I could keep sticking my arm in there forever. I think this will be a perfect spot to build a snow shelter for the night. It's a big task for this little guy. I'll see if he's up for the job. This is by far the best way to enjoy massive snow seasons like this one. To really get to experience just how much snow fell over the course of a winter, even though we've got a few more feet of snow coming this week, so it's not even anywhere near over. There's something so peaceful and refreshing about coming out to the mountains on a beautiful weekend and just digging a hole in the woods. It might sound crazy, but I love it. I'm taking this as low as I can, that way I can have a little fire in there and not worry about it going out because it melts itself through the snow every 30 seconds. Look at that. That's a pretty wild thing to see out here. It's funny to see the level of that snow get higher and higher above my head. This sky just keeps on flying by. So much for no sun, huh? I didn't calculate that very well. Probably the most important thing you can do in the mountains on sunny days is keep yourself from burning. The air is very thin and might as well be surrounded by a mirror. It's hard to believe I still haven't struck the bottom. This is so deep. This is starting to get ridiculous. We've got to be pretty close by now. It's already the height of me and this shovel. That's over 9 feet deep. Could that be? It's the ground! It's the ground! Yes! Oh my gosh. That took all day when I finally hit the ground. Wow, that's deep. And no, I'm not a midget. I'm 6'2". This snow stake is almost 3 meters tall. That's how much farther that could have gone in. All right. So now that I'm down to the bottom, I can start building out. So I think I'm going to pick this side and build my little sleeping area. Nothing fancy, just enough room for a sleeping pad and a sleeping bag. I certainly got very lucky on the weather. That was about a minute. It's such a steep drop into here. It's crazy how deep this is. I'm starting to get in here pretty deep, almost deep enough to set up camp. I think the next step is going to be to dig out a little behind me so I have a place to sit, make my dinner, and just hang out. That way I can stay nice and comfortable, because as I've been pulling snow out, more and more has accumulated back in this little footwell. So I still probably have a foot or two of space underneath here before I hit the actual bottom. Should do just fine for a night. See this moss? Whenever you encounter these strips, like this lightly colored line that goes across the snow, that marks a moment in time, maybe a week or two when it didn't snow. And so the snow layer melted a little bit and there were accumulations of gunk from the trees. The whole pattern here tells a story. It's almost like the geologic history when looking at a canyon. Here you can just see the story of the year. And this snow, all the way down at the bottom, fell in November when the snowpack started to accumulate. And every single line delineates the end of a different storm. But just the sheer volume of snow is incredible because it shows that every single storm must have accumulated 3 or 4 feet. And there were like probably 7 or 8 of those this year. Is this big enough for me yet? Not quite, but close. Just a little bit more and I'll be able to set up the sleeping bed. All right, just in time for what I think will be a beautiful sunset. We can set up camp and make some dinner. Well, since we're out in the backcountry, got nothing fancy. In fact, I've got probably the least fancy thing I have ever made on the channel. Ramen noodles. Sure, I've got the lid for the pot somewhere. There we go. In the interest of time, I'm gonna get water boiling before anything else. That way we can enjoy our dinner in front of the lake with the beautiful views. Let's get this filled up with snow. Look at that. A little humidity from the butane brings out our breath right away. I brought Erin's sleeping pad. I actually have both, but hers is better. And of course my head's gonna be here. That way I get to see the stars. There's no precipitation in the forecast. And it just is less likely that I get drips on my head. And this inflates so much faster than my sleeping pad. I also brought my 0-degree sleeping bag because last night at the bottom of the mountain it got quite cold. And man, this thing is nice. Do not take any chances. Now I'm just sitting here eagerly waiting. Those snacks held me over decently well, but it burns a lot of calories to dig out this many tons of snow. Let's take this out to the edge of the lake and enjoy. Wow. Take a look out at that beautiful view, huh? Crater Lake is actually the deepest lake in the United States. I think it's almost 2,000 feet deep here in the Oregon Cascades. And it's got no outflows at all. It's just got enough water coming in from the snow to keep the level fairly constant. Oh yeah. So happy I made this. It's the best camping food you can bring. It weighs nothing, and if you got snow around, you don't even have to carry extra water. This is also a pretty unique spot because of how big the trees are able to get, despite being so high up. They just have basically unlimited water. But funny enough, probably the most famous tree in the park is actually dead and has been floating around the lake for over 100 years. And it baffles a lot of scientists because the established knowledge would tell you that a log floating around in a lake for that long would eventually sink. But nope, it's just been floating around. Honestly, skiing down there would be really fun. It's the getting back up part that would suck. All right, that was awesome. the trash away. Ooh. It's funny, I can already hear the comments talking about, well, what about Japan? You know, me referencing the snowiest place in the world. There's a few ways to measure the snowiest place in the world, very few of which bring you to Japan. You only count places that are accessible year-round and have some kind of habitation of humans. Mount Rainier has the snowiest average where snowfall is readily recorded. Japan has the snowiest cities. I am a little bit suspicious of some of the Japanese snowfall totals. Measure askew. Alright, that's enough of my rant. I should be plenty warm in that sleeping bag. I'm not gonna need this. Alright, how cozy is that? Oh man. Not claustrophobic at all, you know, having several tons of snow right over your head. This is by far the deepest under the snow I've ever camped. It's kind of crazy to even think about. Look, you can see the space station there. Oh, there it goes into the shadow of Earth. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Good morning. I was actually planning on having a campfire in here, but daylight savings time, so the time changed, and all of a sudden it's like 11 a.m. So I'd be at it all day. But I can at least make up some hot chocolate, warm myself up. Not that I got cold. It definitely got very cold in here last night. But the sleeping bag's so warm, and I had my jacket on the entire time. So I slept in properly. Probably the longest I've ever slept in a snow cave. Look at our water. Maybe I can break that up. Make some hot chocolate. It's definitely gotten very windy. I can see the trees and hear them way up there moving around. Of course, no wind makes it into the shelter, we're way too deep. But occasionally, some snow will get wisped off of one of those limbs somewhere. I'll get little tiny snowflakes fall on me. It's funny, even the butane has to be turned way up to even flow. It's pretty cold. I'm gonna go get a stick. I want something to stir that. Man, filling this in is gonna be something else. That is a lot of snow that needs to go back. That needs to be cooled down. It got hot real fast. Swiss Miss always brings me right back to Boy Scouts. It's the only time I ever have it is when I'm camping. Oh yeah, there's definitely some wind. You can certainly hear it in the trees. I'm just up here to grab my sleeping bag so we can box it up and start packing up, getting out of here. Such a long ways down. It's funny, that patch I put on there from the first time I ever camped in the hot tent with the stove. And I touched the sleeping bag to the stove and immediately melted a hole in it. have to kick that to dislodge it. There we go. Now with these things, one thing I've learned the hard way is really make sure it's closed tightly. Just because there's no gas coming out now doesn't mean it's not going to come out in your vehicle later when it warms up. Because isobutane like this is liquid just like 10 or so degrees below freezing. The last thing left to worry about is this snow stick. I'll show you how fun it is to jab this into snow this deep. I don't want to get snow in my glove, but y'all know how deep that would go. There we go. All cleaned up and ready to be filled back in. Knocking down snow from above is way easier than picking it up from below. I think that's good enough. It's time to hike back to the van and head on to my next adventure, which is a giant snowstorm coming in a couple days. We could be seeing up to 6 feet of snow. So stay tuned for that because I am excited. All right. Thank you so much for following along on this week's Snow Cave adventure. If you like adventures in the snow, check out the description where you'll see links to my other Snow Cave videos. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.